Ever noticed something missing from your history classes? We learn about ancient Rome, the Greek philosophers, the Renaissance in Europe, but what about Africa? Why does the story of an entire continent, the cradle of humanity, often feel like a footnote? It's a huge gap in our collective knowledge, and today, we are going to explore why Africa's rich and complex history has been hidden in schools worldwide. So, where does this gap come from? A big part of the answer lies in our education systems. Most school curricula, especially in Western countries, are built on a Eurocentric model. This means they prioritize European history, culture, and achievements as the central narrative of human progress. Think about it. Our timelines often jump from ancient Egypt, which is frequently disconnected from the rest of Africa, straight to European exploration. This isn't just an oversight. It's a framework that positions Europe as the main driver of world history, effectively sidelining the contributions and experiences of everyone else. This structure has been around for centuries and continues to shape how generations of students see the world, creating a skewed perspective where one continent's story is seen as universal, while others are treated as optional or secondary. Now, let's talk about what gets erased. When we do hear about ancient Africa, it's often limited to Egypt. But what about the kingdom of Kush in Nubia, which was so powerful it once conquered and ruled Egypt? Or the great city-states of the Swahili coast, which were bustling hubs of international trade for centuries, connecting Africa to the Middle East, India, and even China? And then there's the Mali Empire, led by figures like Mansa Musa, who was so wealthy his pilgrimage to Mecca literally changed the economy of the regions he passed through. We have the sophisticated bronzes of the Benin Kingdom, the incredible rock-hewn churches of Lalibela in Ethiopia, and Great Zimbabwe, a magnificent stone city that rivaled the size of London at its peak. These weren't isolated, primitive societies. They were complex, innovative, and deeply connected to the global stage. By ignoring them, we are not just missing a few chapters, we are missing entire libraries of human achievement and knowledge. The colonial era had a devastating and long-lasting impact on how African history was told. When European powers colonized Africa in the 19th and 20th centuries, they didn't just seize land and resources, they imposed their own systems of governance, culture, and education. To justify their rule, colonial administrators promoted the idea that Africa was a dark continent with no history, no culture, and no civilization of its own. They claimed they were bringing progress to a backward people. The education systems they established were designed to reinforce this narrative. African children were taught European history, language, and values, while their own heritage was systematically devalued and erased. This wasn't just about controlling the present, it was about controlling the past to legitimize the colonial project. The effects of this are still felt today, as many educational frameworks in post-colonial African nations still bear the marks of this colonial-era curriculum, creating a difficult and ongoing struggle to decolonize knowledge itself. Beyond the classroom, the media plays a powerful role in shaping our perception of Africa. For decades, Western news and entertainment have often portrayed Africa through a very narrow lens. We see stories of poverty, conflict, and disease, or romanticized images of wildlife and safaris. While these things are part of the reality, they are far from the whole picture. Where are the stories of Africa's booming tech hubs, its world-renowned artists and designers, its groundbreaking scientists, and its vibrant, diverse middle class? This constant stream of negative or simplistic narratives creates a powerful, often subconscious bias. It reinforces the old colonial idea of Africa as a continent in need of saving, rather than a place of innovation, resilience, and immense diversity. This media narrative seeps into our collective consciousness, making it even harder for the true, complex history of Africa to break through. It fills the void left by our education systems with stereotypes, creating a one-dimensional caricature of a continent with 54 countries and over 1 billion people. But the story doesn't end there. A powerful movement is underway. Across the continent and in the diaspora, African historians, scholars, artists, and activists are working tirelessly to reclaim their history. They are digging into archives, re-examining oral traditions, and using new archaeological and scientific methods to uncover the truths that were buried. Academics like Cheikh Anta Diop challenge the Eurocentric view of ancient Egypt, arguing for its Black African roots. Writers like Chinua Achebe and Ngg Wa Thiongo used literature to dismantle colonial narratives and tell stories from an African perspective. Today, a new generation is using social media, podcasts, and digital platforms to share this rediscovered history with a global audience. Museums are re-evaluating their collections, and there are growing calls for the repatriation of stolen artifacts. This isn't just about correcting the record, it's an act of cultural and intellectual liberation, a powerful statement that Africans will be the authors of their own story. So why does all of this matter? Restoring the truth about African history has a profound impact. For people of African descent, it builds a stronger sense of identity, pride, and connection to their heritage. It counters the negative stereotypes that have caused so much harm and provides empowering role models from the past. But it's not just for people of African descent, it's for everyone. Understanding the full scope of African history enriches our understanding of the entire human story. It shows us different ways of building societies, creating art, and understanding the world. It challenges the very idea of a single, linear path of progress and replaces it with a much more complex, interconnected, and fascinating picture of our shared global past. When we see history in its full color, we are all better for it. It fosters greater empathy, respect, and a more accurate view of the world we live in today. Learning about the hidden history of Africa isn't just an academic exercise. It's a vital step toward a more just and equitable world. It is about acknowledging the past in all its complexity and giving every culture the respect it deserves. So, I encourage you to seek out these stories. Read books by African historians, follow creators who are sharing this knowledge, and question the narratives you've been taught. By doing so, we can all play a part in bringing Africa's incredible story out of the shadows and into the light where it belongs. Thanks for watching. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the stories that shape our world. See you next time.